Good morning and welcome to Wednesday. And we are looking at Exodus chapter 17, 1 through 7, and it's God's provision of water. So we'll see that as they are in the desert, that their two greatest needs, of course, are water and food. And so we'll see how God takes care of the basic needs for them. So I'm going to go ahead and read the passage. The whole Israelite community set out from the desert of Sin, traveling from place to place as the Lord commanded. They camped at Rephidim, but there was no water for the people to drink. So they quarreled with Moses and said, "Give us water to drink." Moses replied, "Why do you quarrel with me? Why do you put the Lord to the test?" But the people were thirsty for water there, and they grumbled against Moses. They said, "Why did you bring us up out of our Egypt and make us and our children and livestock die of thirst?" Then Moses cried out to the Lord, "What am I to do with these people? They are almost ready to stone me." The Lord answered, "Go out in front of the people, take with you some elders of Israel, and take in your hand the staff with which you struck the Nile, and go. I will stand there before you by the rock of Horeb. Strike the rock, and water will come out of it for the people to drink." So Moses did this in the sight of the elders of Israel. And he called the place Massah and Meribah, because the Israelites quarreled and because they tested the Lord, saying, "Is the Lord not among us?" All right. Again, each trial that they come up, their go-to seems to be to complain, to attack Moses, to verbally, to accuse him of wanting to kill them because he brought him out to the wilderness to die, and also to have this imaginary or over this place of thinking about how great Egypt was. So they're like, we should have just stayed in Egypt. And so that seems like their go-to instead of trusting. And so just as we think about that, I just want you to meditate on that for a moment. Like, what's your go-to when trials come? Is your go-to maybe just to call other people on the phone and complain? Is your go-to to compare your life to other people, or think about how hard it is in comparison how life was earlier? Or is your go-to during trials to go to God? And so then I love how Moses goes, "What am I to do with these people?" Right? And so this is where we see a lot of good things in Moses as a leader. And this is one we see this is his best leadership skill that we'll keep seeing, is he goes to God with a complaint. He goes to God with, what should I do about these people? And think about if you're in a leadership position, and maybe in ministry or a church, and you've had times where you're thinking, what challenging thing that I need to resolve, or to serve these people that I'm loving and leading. And many times, I know for me, sometimes I think of my own skills and I draw back to let me come up with a plan instead of going to God. Or I complain about the people who are complaining to me, right? That's another go-to. You talk to other people and say, "I can't believe these people are complaining about this." Instead of saying, "God, what should I do? How do you want me to love on these people who are complaining and I don't know what to do with them?" And so then God led him to take a rock and to strike it, or take his rod and to strike it. And this is great for two reasons that I didn't see before when I read it. And one was, Moses couldn't grab his rod without thinking about what God had done. Can you imagine all the things that God had done with his rod? God had brought plagues with the rock, right? He showed God's power with the rod. The most recent one, he divided the Red Sea with the rod. So he picked up this item that was so full of this symbol of reminding him that God had provided time and time and time again. So that was beautiful, because God could have used anything. He could have just said, just say the words. But he used an instrument that had been so critical in reminding him of past miracles and past provision. And then he had him hit a rock. Now, a rock is not where water comes from. Maybe if he had him hit the ground, you can think, well, there was a well source there, right? But the rock doesn't come, water doesn't come from rock. So again, it's God showing his almighty power, that he's saying your sustenance and your provision, people, is coming from me. So what a beautiful picture of provision there. I just love the story. So just reflect and meditate and think how God would like you to respond to this as well. Have a good day, and we'll see you tomorrow. And remember, 5 minutes in the Word can change your life.